Have you ever found yourself standing in a room full of strangers, wondering how to break the ice? Or perhaps you've been stuck in a painfully awkward conversation, not knowing how to keep it going or exit gracefully? Mastering the art of small talk can transform these uncomfortable situations into opportunities for genuine connections. In The Fine Art of Small Talk, Debra teaches us how to turn ordinary conversations into meaningful dialogues that can open doors to friendships, opportunities, and success. It's more than just idle chit-chat. It's the key to building strong, lasting relationships in both personal and professional life. Introduction. Small talk often gets a bad reputation. It's sometimes seen as superficial or unnecessary, but in truth, it is the foundation of meaningful connections. Whether you're attending a networking event, engaging with colleagues at work, or simply meeting new people at social gatherings, small talk is essential. Debra, a former engineer who once struggled with these very social skills, wrote The Fine Art of Small Talk to share practical advice on mastering the art of conversation. With personal anecdotes, humor, and step-by-step techniques, she demonstrates how anyone, whether extroverted or introverted, can learn to make small talk effortlessly and confidently. The book is especially valuable for those who feel nervous or out of place in social settings. Fine's insights go beyond surface-level exchanges, offering readers a toolkit for deeper interactions that build trust and rapport. She teaches the importance of asking open-ended questions, using active listening, and gracefully exiting conversations. In doing so, Fine proves that small talk is not about talking small. It's about creating big opportunities for connection and understanding. Chapter 1. Why Small Talk Matters. Small talk serves as the gateway to building relationships. Whether in professional or personal settings, we often begin conversations with what might seem trivial. Questions about the weather, the location of an event, or someone's weekend plans. However, beneath these seemingly simple exchanges lies the real purpose of small talk: to create a connection. Debra explains that small talk is more than just filling time. It's a way to show interest in another person and to lay the foundation for trust, rapport, and understanding. Small talk as a social tool. In modern society, the ability to engage in small talk is not just a nice-to-have skill. It's essential for forming relationships and being socially adaptable. In the workplace, small talk may be the prelude to a productive meeting, helping team members feel comfortable and engaged. In social situations, it's the key to breaking down barriers between strangers, allowing them to relate to each other. Example: imagine you've been invited to a friend's party where you don't know anyone. Walking into the room, it's easy to feel isolated or awkward. By approaching someone and making a simple comment, "This is a great party. How do you know the host?" you've instantly begun to engage. The question is simple, but it opens the door for the other person to share their story. From there, the conversation can naturally evolve as you ask follow-up questions or share your own experiences. Fine reminds us that while deep conversations are fulfilling, they don't usually happen without small talk first. Small talk is the precursor to more meaningful interactions, helping to establish comfort and trust before diving into more substantial discussions. The evolution of relationships. Debra touches on how relationships evolve through various stages, from being complete strangers to forming bonds. Small talk plays a significant role in each of these stages. 1. Initial contact. When two people first meet, small talk is often how they break the ice and determine whether they share any common ground. 2. Building rapport. As conversations progress, people begin to feel more comfortable with each other. At this stage, small talk remains essential to maintaining the connection. 3. Deepening the relationship. Once trust is established, small talk gradually gives way to deeper conversations. People feel more confident sharing their thoughts and experiences. 4. Sustaining relationships. Even in long-term relationships, small talk remains vital. It serves as a way to stay connected in everyday life. Small talk in the digital age. In today's world, small talk has even made its way into the digital space. We often find ourselves engaging in casual conversations through emails, texts, or social media. Whether we're chatting with a colleague online or commenting on a friend's social media post, the principles of small talk still apply. Fine explains that the tone and approach to small talk should be adjusted depending on the medium, but the goal remains the same: to connect. Chapter 2. Overcoming the fear of small talk. One of the key reasons many people avoid small talk is because of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of awkwardness, and fear of saying the wrong thing. Debra Fine acknowledges these common concerns and provides readers with strategies to overcome them. She encourages readers to view small talk as an opportunity rather than a source of anxiety. With the right mindset and a bit of preparation, anyone can learn to engage confidently in small talk. Understanding your fear. Fine begins by helping readers identify the root of their anxiety. Many people experience conversation anxiety, especially in social situations where they feel out of place. This fear stems from concerns about being judged or not knowing what to say. Fine stresses that this anxiety is natural, and even seasoned conversationalists can feel nervous in new environments. The key is recognizing that small talk is not a performance. It's simply an interaction. The fear of rejection. One of the biggest hurdles to overcome is the fear of being rejected or dismissed in a conversation. Fine encourages readers to shift their perspective. Instead of seeing small talk as a make-or-break moment, view it as a learning experience. Not every conversation will flow perfectly, and that's okay. What matters is the effort to connect. Rejection, if it happens, is rarely personal. Often, it has more to do with the other person's mood, timing, or circumstances. Example: at a networking event, you may approach someone and try to start a conversation, only to find them distracted or uninterested. Fine suggests not taking this personally. Instead, move on to the next person with the mindset that the goal is to connect with those who are open to conversation. Overcoming social awkwardness. For many people, social awkwardness is the main barrier to successful small talk. Fine shares practical tips for navigating these awkward moments. 1. Prepare conversation starters. Having a few go-to questions or comments can ease anxiety. Fine suggests preparing a list of general conversation starters, such as, what brought you to this event? Have you traveled anywhere interesting lately? I'm curious, what's your favorite thing about this event/occasion? 2. Practice active listening. One of the most effective ways to combat awkwardness is by focusing on the other person. Active listening shows that you are engaged, and it gives you material to build upon. Ask follow-up questions based on what the person shares, and offer your own insights to keep the conversation going. 3. Embrace the silence. Awkward silences are a natural part of conversations. Rather than panicking, Fine advises taking a moment to think of a new question or observation. In fact, sometimes allowing a brief pause can give the other person a chance to think and contribute more deeply to the conversation. Confidence through practice. Fine emphasizes that the more you practice small talk, the easier it becomes. Confidence comes with repetition, and over time, conversations that once felt difficult will feel more natural. Start by practicing in low-stakes environments, such as with friends, family, or coworkers, before moving on to more intimidating settings like networking events. Chapter 3. The Art of Breaking the Ice. In this chapter, Fine dives into one of the most crucial aspects of small talk: breaking the ice. Starting a conversation can feel intimidating, especially if you're meeting someone for the first time or are in a new environment. However, Fine provides a range of techniques to help you initiate conversations confidently. Start with simple openers. The key to breaking the ice, Fine explains, is to keep it simple. Icebreakers don't need to be profound, they just need to open the door to a dialogue. Sometimes the most effective icebreakers are the ones that seem the most straightforward. Here are a few examples. Compliments. Complimenting someone's attire, accessories, or even their demeanor can be a great way to open a conversation. For example, "I really like your scarf. Where did you get it?" Compliments not only make the other person feel good, but they also give them an opportunity to share something about themselves. Observations about the environment. Commenting on your surroundings can be an easy way to initiate small talk, especially at events, parties, or public spaces. You could say something like, "This venue is beautiful. Have you been here before?" Or, "I've heard the food here is excellent. What do you think?" Ask for opinions. People love to share their opinions, and asking for their thoughts on something can be an easy conversation starter. "What do you think of the speaker so far?" Or, "How did you feel about the movie?" Invites the other person to express their views and opens the door to further discussion. Open-ended questions. Closed-ended questions can lead to one-word answers, which can stall a conversation. Fine recommends focusing on open-ended questions that encourage the other person to elaborate and share more. For instance, instead of asking, "Did you like the event?" you could ask, "What was your favorite part of the event?" This type of question invites the other person to explain their experience, giving you more to work with as you continue the conversation. Leverage shared experiences. One of the most effective ways to break the ice is to reference shared experiences. Whether you're at the same event, in the same line, or dealing with the same weather, finding common ground makes the conversation feel more natural. Fine suggests starting with something as simple as, "It's great to see so many people here today. How did you hear about this event?" Or, "The weather has been so unpredictable lately, hasn't it?" Navigating awkward beginnings. Fine acknowledges that not all icebreakers will lead to a perfect conversation right away. Sometimes the other person may seem distracted or not as engaged. In these moments, it's important not to give up. Fine advises giving the conversation a second chance by asking a follow-up question or introducing a new topic. For example, if you ask someone about their favorite part of an event and they give a brief response, you could follow up with, "That's interesting. What else stood out to you?" Chapter 4. Mastering the flow of conversation. Once you've broken the ice, the next step is to keep the conversation flowing. This is often where people struggle, especially if they're unsure how to navigate the twists and turns of small talk. Fine emphasizes that mastering the flow of conversation is an art form, but with a few key strategies, anyone can learn to keep the dialogue alive. Active listening is the cornerstone of any good conversation. Rather than focusing on what you'll say next, Fine advises that you truly listen to what the other person is saying. When you actively listen, you pick up on cues, emotions, and potential directions the conversation can go. Fine offers a few tips for becoming a better active listener. 1. Show interest. Nod, smile, and make eye contact to show that you're engaged. People are more likely to open up when they feel that you're truly interested in what they're saying. 2. Ask follow-up questions. When someone shares something, ask them to elaborate. For example, if someone mentions they recently returned from a trip, ask, "What was the highlight of your trip?" Or, "Did you try any local food?" 3. Mirror the other person's enthusiasm. If the person you're talking to is excited about a topic, reflect that excitement back to them. This helps build rapport and encourages the other person to share more. The art of transitioning topics. One of the challenges of small talk is knowing how to transition from one topic to another without it feeling forced or awkward. Fine explains that transitions are a natural part of conversation, and they can be handled with ease if done correctly. Chapter 5, The Power of Nonverbal Communication. In this chapter, Fine highlights how body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice play crucial roles in small talk. Key points. Body language matters. How you carry yourself sends messages to the other person. Open body language, such as uncrossed arms and leaning slightly forward, indicates interest and engagement. Eye contact. Maintaining appropriate eye contact is essential in building trust and showing that you are listening. Smiling. A genuine smile can make you appear approachable and friendly. It sets a positive tone for the conversation. Tone of voice. The way you say something can be just as important as the words themselves. A warm, enthusiastic tone keeps the conversation lively. Chapter 6. How to exit conversations gracefully. Ending a conversation can sometimes be just as challenging as starting one. This chapter offers strategies for wrapping up conversations in a polite and respectful way. Key points. Summarize the conversation. Before exiting, summarize a key point from the discussion. This shows that you are engaged and are leaving on a positive note. Set up future interactions. If appropriate, offer to continue the conversation at a later time, such as, "Let's grab coffee sometime and discuss this further." Polite exit lines. Fine suggests using polite exit lines like, "It's been great chatting with you," or "I'd love to stay and talk, but I need to catch up with a few others before the event ends." Chapter 7. Small talk in professional settings. In professional settings, small talk can be the bridge to new opportunities and stronger work relationships. Fine offers advice on how to approach small talk in the workplace, at networking events, and during business meetings. Key points. Networking with purpose. Small talk at networking events can feel intimidating, but it's essential for building professional relationships. Start with questions about the event, the industry, or mutual contacts. Workplace conversations. Fine discusses how small talk in the office can lead to better teamwork and collaboration. Greeting coworkers with a friendly conversation builds rapport and trust. Handling tough conversations. Sometimes small talk is needed before transitioning into difficult topics. Fine explains how to ease into serious discussions through light conversation. Chapter 8. Deepening relationships through small talk. As Fine emphasizes, small talk is just the beginning. In this chapter, she delves into how small talk can be used to deepen existing relationships. Key points. Finding common ground. Small talk is the first step to discovering shared interests or experiences. This common ground lays the foundation for stronger relationships. Consistent engagement. Keeping up with small talk over time, whether with colleagues, friends, or acquaintances, builds familiarity and trust. From small talk to real talk. Once trust is established, small talk often evolves into deeper conversations, where individuals feel comfortable sharing more personal thoughts and experiences. Conclusion. Debra finds the fine art of small talk shows that small talk is much more than simple chatter. It's the foundation of relationships, both personal and professional. The ability to make small talk effortlessly opens doors to opportunities, enriches your social interactions, and helps you make lasting connections. By mastering the techniques of active listening, asking open-ended questions, and showing genuine interest, anyone can become a skilled conversationalist. Ultimately, small talk helps bridge the gap between strangers and leads to deeper, more meaningful exchanges. Whether you're at a party, a networking event, or in the workplace, mastering the fine art of small talk is an essential skill that can transform the way you interact with others.